Hello, I am Philip Hopkins with the American Military University. Today I am presenting Major Endangered Species Laws in the United States to EVSP 508 Environmental Ethics Winter Session B 2024. In the United States, any species of plant or animal that is in danger of extinction in its entirety or in large portions of its native range are considered endangered. Since America's founding as a country, it is estimated that there has been a total of 650 species lost to extinction. As human expansion and industrialization continues, many other species of both plants and animals run the risk of joining those 650 that have already been lost. In order to mitigate these losses and prevent the demise of those threatened species, the United States created and implemented several laws aimed at the protection and conservation of endangered wildlife. Laws protecting endangered species in the U.S. takes a non-anthropocentric approach. This is to say, they do not believe that human beings alone are the center of the universe, but all things in nature have value equal to ours. There is also a biocentric basis in those laws that ensures there is an ecological balance throughout the country. The Endangered Species Act. The most prevalent federal law protecting endangered species is the Endangered Species Act of 1973. This law places fish, wildlife, and plants that are determined to be threatened or endangered on a list that offers them special protections. Those protections prevent things like hunting, trapping, farming, or being kept as pets. While on the list, plans for their recovery are worked at the state and federal level. Authority for the ESA is given to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, a branch under the U.S. Department of Interior. This law takes on an animal rights worldview that can be associated with deep ecology. Migratory Bird Act, or the MBTA. This law was passed in 1918, well before the ESA. The MBTA was originally established to protect migratory birds from overhunting after a serious issue in the early 1900s. The act was reformed in 2004 to take on a more modern approach, but still maintains the guiding principles of prohibiting the killing, trapping, trading, or transporting of migratory birds without the authorization of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. This brought about laws such as the federal duck stamp required to be purchased in any state while waterfowl hunting. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service oversees this act. The act was originally instituted as a form of instrumental value because the birds were a source of renewable food. The principle that birds carried instrumental value drove the creation of law as a way to manage their use. Bald Eagle and Golden Eagle Protection Act. Bald and golden eagles were once listed as endangered species on the ESA, but their recovery efforts have since been successful enough to warrant their delisting. However, the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act still offers them legal protection from all hunting, trapping, and transporting. This law was established in 1940 and overseen by the Secretary of Interior. The law follows an approach of aesthetic value. The bald eagle is the official symbol of the United States. With a sustainable population that is not endangered, the only reason for their listing is to protect their image, which represents the nation. Marine Mammal Protection Act. Passed in 1972, this act was implemented to prevent the decline of marine animals. As the U.S. recognized that human activity was having a detrimental effect on the populations of marine animals, they shifted their approach from that of a resource management to that of an ecosystem management. The act is overseen by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and the Marine Mammal Commission. This act has an intrinsic value as most marine animals don't serve much of a resourceful purpose to the United States, but they're important to the ecosystem, which shares a biocentric view. The United States takes an overall environmental approach that mirrors a few ethical ideas. With the Endangered Species Act, the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act, and the Marine Mammal Protection Act, it's easy to see how the different underlying views all share the same overall worldview principle of deep ecology. All things have an intrinsic value, whether that value comes from its usefulness as being a renewable food source or as our country's symbol of freedom and equality. A species does not need to provide something of value to humans in order for the U.S. government to be willing to protect it. The federal government is willing to fight and protect all life that falls within the reach of federal law, which is exactly what the deep ecology worldview is.